snakes and lizards, the reptilians. Do the reptilian overlords consume one of my favourite places around here? Better not be so, although I've seen a couple of snakes. Pre-vlog vlog. Vlogging about pre-vlogging. What's he going to vlog about? At the moment I have no idea. All I know that is it's perfect weather to film. Because when it's shitty weather or when it's cloudy, then the material is just such, it's not very fun to look at something when it's all dull and grisly. When things are nice and shining, yes, there we go, the ceremonial place. Well, that's what I call it. Definitely some weirdness going on here. I like. Dragonfly on top. Pre-vlog, vlog about vlogging. Last time I was down here vlogging, I did a video about the twin flame, about the reoccurrence of the phenomenon. A funny thing happened with that, except while I posted that video, I received my first internet troll. I think normally that kind of stuff happens when you get to 10,000 subscribers, but I got one immediately, which was very interesting. This internet troll basically said, "Oh, you div, you fell for the twin flame trap again," and how it's ego games and how these play out. It's a very interesting post that you posted, actually. It's like a 10-step guide to seeing what a twin flame is and how it turns out. It was too nice to be evil, so I contacted the guy. We had a Skype session in which he said, "Well, sorry for being a dick, but us guys got to look out for each other." I thought that was a very nice gesture, even though the primal response was weird. So if you start making your own videos, I'm going to take your jacket off, it's bloody hot, and you get a troll, talk to it. It might have some nice messages for you. Let's see where I'm going to put this here. And back again, the internet troll. So this guy was using a different alias than his real name. And I always find it funny, there's tons of these people on Facebook who all use different Facebook pictures as well, like, I know, dolphins, metatons, cubes, angels, all these, especially in the spiritual scene, lots of people don't show their true face. Talked to him, blah blah. He said, "Yeah, we guys will look out for each other." And I thought it was very interesting because it's like just before you're stepping into a game, someone's like, "Oh no, stop! You don't want to do this." Look, gets the scroll out, points out the rules of conduct, and says, "Look, you're setting yourself up for failure." And I've said it tons of times, and I'm going to say it again. I love energy dynamics. So what this basically means is if you were to get two magnets and put them together, they're either going to attract or they're going to, repel each other. And let's say that would be the basic feelings that we could feel with our hands. We could feel either it sucking towards each other or pushing away, this weird magnetic field. when you play around with magnets, because this is something we've all done, when you play around with magnets, you feel this force, and when it flips over, and at what degree does it flip over. And you can take this, let's say, dynamic even further, put it down on a magnet on a sheet of paper, sprinkle some, let's say, iron shards or whatever, and you could see the magnetic patterns form of the magnetic field. And this would be a two-dimensional perspective of what's happening on a, let's say, three-dimensional force field. And of course, if we would go on to different dimensions, see what's happening there. So the same thing with energy dynamics. Let's say with the twin flame, there's this attraction, repulsion, and all these things that happen on a deeper level of ourselves. And the reason why I like this, or the reason why I'm attracted to these kinds of things, is because they reveal the deeper layers of self. It happens within me, it happens within you. We all have these same issues. Let's say like emotions. We all know what regret is, grief, happiness, sadness. So there's all these different things, and they're all embedded in us. And there's all these triggers that enflare these situations. So when you fall in love with someone, let's say the Cupid phase thing, then you get the blind with love. Oh, this person is it. I've met the one. La 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 la. So that's very cute. And when you grow up, you learn to see these things in different kind of stages with a certain level of maturity, or that you've been around this cycle a couple of times. And the reason why I'm interested in the twin flame dynamics is because it's a stronger, or a more, let's say, spiritually evolved kind of relationship. Because in the third dimension we've got all these, guilt games going, and relationships build on lust, attraction, let's say superficial attraction. Superficial attractions, like or we compare them to other things. So that's a lower state of a love relationship. And the twin flame, or that kind of energy, has deeper dynamics to it. Past lives, future lives, that kind of stuff, where all these things intermingle. And I had a vision about this a couple of days ago. So this is about the twin flame relationship. So let's say there's a line, and above this line there's two characters. So there's me, and there's the female version. And we can see each other from the top layer. But underneath, let's say under the water, there's this third, let's say, entity, which really thrives on the energy dynamics that these two single people can create together. Because I believe that this twin flame relationship does occur in several people, but only on specific kinds of people, so that there's not a lot of them out there. So I saw it as these two people, and they're, especially let's say second phase twin flame, or give it another name, they're like, oh shit, I remember this part, or I remember this weirdness. But if you observe, step back and feel what's happening underneath, then you can feel what these trigger points are. And instead of getting triggered and full into the response, you can actually feel what it is and then go deeper. So if I was to take my what's happened to me in this, let's say, second phase twin flame thing, it's rejection. So good connection, some energy boiled up, and then poof, there's this force that goes outwards again. And even though on a, let's say, normal level, I don't really It's not that I don't care, it's that I don't mind. You know, I know that that's the kind of things that happen. What I'm interested in is, what are the triggers within me, what parts of me are not healed yet, and how can I travel to the times in my life where this has happened before, let's say go back in time and be there for that version of me that, you know, was in pain, suffering, grief, let's say lower forms of emotions or state of beings. Yeah, so seeing it as people above, and all these icky bicky bits underneath the water, all these tentacles that are all pushing, pulling, kicking, creating, because there's tons and tons of creative force within this dynamic, and it takes a certain level of maturity to really understand how to utilize it. And what I was also shown with in the same setup was how it happened with my, let's say, the first twin flame encounter. And what that was like whoop, like a smack together, and just tons of, let's say, ecstasy, ecstatic feelings of bliss and joy. And what I was shown was that is the same as like a Kundalini awakening, where this Kundalini energy goes up your spinal cord, and everything that you haven't dealt with comes to the surface in a very painful situation. Same kind of thing happens here with the twin flame smacking towards each other, and it literally burns out your nervous system. So that's what I was shown, that, you know, you shift tons and tons and tons of energy through your nervous system, and it takes time before you can when you're back to normal again, because, you know, it fries your system and the body heals. However, if you don't know this, if you don't know that your nervous system is fried due to such a circumstance, you don't know what to do, how to recover it, then the healing process it's going to take you to get back to optimum health again, that can take a long period of time. It can take years longer than it needs to. Which brought me to the subject of, what did I call it? Like a cardio. You know, when you're like jogging, you jog and then you stop and then you look at your heartbeat and see how fast you can get your heartbeat back to normal rhythm again. It's the same with these encounters. So whether it's, you know, a twin flame relationship, whether it's contact with entities, or, you know, some other energetic strong interaction, there's this time when you need to come back to baseline again. So if your spinal cord is very, you know, that's your main structure, and on top of that the nervous system, I would say they're the two main systems of this. But what do you need to get yourself back to optimum health? And in my experience, I would say fasting. Fasting helps, so that's stop feeding your face with food, and it gives your body time to regenerate. There we go. So a minute ago I was up there in Fort Vincent talking about twin flames, and then I thought, that's a lot of rambling going on. What if I was to just give the quick breakdown? Okay, so here's the quick breakdown. Number 1, jump, do it, go for it, go all in, like with life. You don't want to do things half-ass. Half-ass choices are going to give half-ass results. Look at this energy with, you know, a massive potential to unfold deeper layers within yourself, to really grow up into the mature version of yourself, you know, the spiritual being. These magnetic, repulsive kind of interactions, they're literally there to like poke and pinch and clench on one side, and on the other side to hold and embrace, to create space, to hold space for each other's development. forgive fast, you know, because you're going to get hurt, you're going to blame someone and get in this old stuck phase. You know, energy doesn't want to get stuck, it wants to flow freely, it wants to go around, create and dissipate, and just endless creation. When we blame or something, you know, we condense energy into this sticky, icky, gooey stuff. So forgive fast. Become aware of illusions, because we as human beings, we love to project, let's say especially romantic stuff. So with twin flames, it's gonna be, oh, the one, and all these romantic films, the chick flicks, all these, God knows whatever it is. That isn't what it is, but we project that stuff on. So, you know, we're looking at this whole scene in a skewed version. I see it as an evolutionary force that comes around once every blue moon. So when it happens, you know, go for it, because it's, and the universe opens doors all the time, but sometimes it opens special doors, and these special doors, you don't want to miss them, because they're the they're the rapid, what would you call it? I can feel it, like in my heart. It's a stronger force. Other breakdowns: forgive fast. Yeah, and communicate. So honest communication, like, okay, well, I'm sorry I said these things, but the things I said it, or in this manner, was to further your evolution, or to see, you know, what you're made out of. So say the good things and the bad things, but there should be this honest, open communication about it, because if it's if there's too much gameplay, then it's going to be this. There's, you're going to put a whole other weird layer of dynamics on top, which is just going to bump stuff around. So that would be it. The breakdown.